Well, hi everyone who's joining us either by phone or by computer video. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to make sure that you can hear me. So if you can hear me, would you type yes in the chat box? Or I can unmute your mics and you can just let me know that you can hear me. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to get started. Whether you join the call beyond 10 a.m., I know it's the first time for a lot of us getting on GoToMeeting. So if folks join us late, that's fine. Just make sure that you mute your mic. And if you have any questions, type it in the chat box. And today's class is just going to be me walking you through the syllabus and the schedule. And I will say that if you're attending this in person, the really good news for you is that it means that you have less work to do later. And so I would highly recommend, if you're watching this recording later, that you try to get on the live calls in the future, because if you attend a live call, all you have to do is attend the live call and then the other assignments for that module. If you don't attend the live call and you're watching this recording, you have to watch the recording of the call, but then you also have to complete an alternative assignment, and I'll walk you through what that looks like for those of you who are watching this recording later. So let's get started. Before we dive into the material, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Casey Crone. I'm an instructor here at WCC, and I've been teaching for about 5 years in the ACS department. I love teaching here. It's not my full-time job, but I keep doing it because I love interacting with the students that I meet every semester, and I really specifically like teaching in the academic and career skills department and seeing all of the growth and all of the things that students are able to achieve. I live about 45 minutes away in a little town called Manchester, Michigan. I'm from this area originally. I grew up in Dexter, and I went to Eastern Michigan University for my undergrad, and from there I moved to Chicago, and I taught elementary school grades 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the city of Chicago for 4 years. After that, I decided I wanted to get back into the sort of the college landscape, and I moved to Cleveland and worked at Case Western Reserve University for a year, and then was able to return to Eastern Michigan University to work full-time about 4 years ago. About a year ago, I changed to the job that I currently have now, which is working for a national fraternity called Delta Tau Delta. And my full-time job is to write curriculum and leadership development experiences for chapters across the country. I totally understand what it's like to be a student. I was a student until very recently. I just graduated from Eastern Michigan again with my doctorate in educational leadership. And so I can totally empathize with what it's like to be a student and have to balance everything else going on in your life. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to move into what our schedule is going to be for this session. So I'm going to go through the syllabus and the course schedule, and also just a really quick overview of how to navigate our Blackboard site, what's coming this semester in terms of guest speakers, and I'll go through that alternative assignment in case you're watching this recording later. I'll also just talk a little bit about some resources that are available to you here as a student at WCC, and then I'll take any questions that might be coming from folks who are on the call. So I just introduced myself. I'm going to move into the structure of the course and the overview. So I'm going to kind of toggle back and forth between this PowerPoint presentation and our actual Blackboard site. For those of you who have not been on Blackboard before or not taken an online class, I'm going to go ahead and sign in just so I can show you step-by-step how to get there. So from the WCC homepage, the fastest way to Blackboard is just to go over here to the quick links and select Blackboard. From there, you're going to want to select courses. My list is going to look really different from yours because I've taught in a lot of different sections. The section that you're looking for is called ACS 151 DLDN1, and you can see CK is for Casey Crone, Winter 18. And it should be the only ACS 151 course in your list. So you click in there, and it's going to bring you to our course homepage. You're going to see that you immediately land on the announcements page, which is great because that's where the most up-to-date information will be for our class. This is an introduction from me. Reminder that you must complete Module 1 by Wednesday, which is tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. in order to remain in the class and avoid being dropped for WCC's required attendance verification. So if you're watching this recording, you have to complete all assignments in Module 1 by tomorrow at midnight. And Wednesdays will always be our deadline. Wednesdays at 11:59 and Sundays at 11:59. Those are the deadlines you're always going to want to remember as we navigate through the different modules, okay? So this is our course homepage. From here, I'm going to take you to the syllabus and schedule, okay? I am going to, looks like someone else just joined us. So Luna, welcome. If you have any questions as we go through the syllabus and schedule, just make sure that you type them in the chat box and that your microphone is off or muted, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and first pull up the syllabus. We're going to do a really brief overview of that. It's long, and I trust that you all will read through it at your own pace and on your own time, but I just want to highlight a couple of things that are important for you to know. So here's our syllabus. Here's my name again, Casey Crone. This is my phone number. It's my personal cell phone number because since I'm a part-time instructor on campus, I don't have a permanent office. So the best way for you to reach me is on this number here. Just a note about that, if you have a phone call that you have to make, like you really need me to walk you through an assignment, please call me before 10 p.m. and not after. And feel free to use this number to text message as well. Yeah, I'm up until about 10 or 11 every night, but I'd prefer to take any work calls before 10 a.m. This is the best email address to reach me on, which is my WCC email. It's very important that you email me there because I can't email you about your grades or class performance or attendance at personal email addresses. I have to be emailing you between our WCC email addresses, just for your protection, just based on federal guidelines through FERPA. My office is the ACS department office because I don't have a permanent space. If you want to meet, we can make a time to chat online like this, or we can meet in person in GM 307 or by phone. So the whole idea of this course is that you will develop skills and habits that lead to academic, professional, and personal success. We're going to do that through a variety of assignments. We're going to do that through readings, activities, journal writing, and you'll have a bunch of projects, like little mini projects that lead up to you building an overall portfolio of success. The course goals are that you will increase self-awareness related to career interests, values, goals, personality preferences, and skills, that you will identify and improve current personal and academic strengths, and that you will identify proven strategies for academic and personal success. This list of course objectives below aligns with each module that you'll complete. So in one of the early modules, we'll focus on this outcome. And as we go through the course, each module that follows will focus on one of these outcomes. There are no required textbooks for this class. You just have to be able to access our online site through Blackboard. Okay, so you don't need to purchase anything extra. Just follow the guidelines in Blackboard. You do need to have daily access to a computer with internet access. It's totally fine if that is on campus. It's totally fine if that's a tablet or a smartphone that you can work on and type on, but just know that you really need to be checking your email every day and that you need to be able to use a device that's easy for you to navigate Blackboard on. The time commitment, I would say you can expect to spend more around the 4-hour mark per week on homework for this 2-credit course. I think 8 is a little high. That might happen if you get behind or you're not able to attend the live meeting, but I think that a better estimate is really this 4-hour mark. Grades are going to be posted in Blackboard under a link called My Grades. So back on our Blackboard site, you would want to click on this link called My Grades, and it would pull up your grade book, and you could see your most up-to-date grade. I usually grade papers every day. So you're not really ever going to be in the dark about what your current grade is, okay? If an assignment does not get turned in by a deadline that's posted, I will enter a 0 for that grade. If it comes in late, I can award partial credit. So if you see a 0, don't panic. That just means that you didn't turn something in by the posted deadline. You can still turn it in late, and then that 0 can change to some points, okay? It's always better to turn something in late and get partial credit than to take no credit. Here's the way that the grades will break down. you can see that attendance and participation in these online meetings is 1/4 of your grade. So for those of you who are on the call today, that's an easy 25% of your grade, just showing up. If you're not on the call, in order to get these points, you're gonna have to watch this call and then complete an alternative assignment. Homework is worth 40% of your grade, so that's a really big chunk of your grade. If you don't complete homework, it's gonna be very difficult to pass this class. You have a self-assessment, a pre and a post-assessment that are worth 5%, a reflective portfolio, and a career planning portfolio. Think of these last two pieces, which is 30% of your grade total, as a final exam. There is no final exam in this class, but those two projects you're going to be working on throughout the course and building up to them. So really, completing your homework means that you're completing these two pieces along the way. So it's really important that you stay caught up on the learning units and modules. Our class will meet for 10 weeks, and we're divided up into 7 learning units. Each learning unit covers a new aspect of academic and career success. Modules. Each learning unit contains modules. So back on our Blackboard site, if I go to learning units, I'll see 7 units, and there's a different number of modules under each one, okay? The important thing to remember, don't get caught up in the units and modules and which week we're in. Just know that every module is a new set of 3 days. So module 1, you must complete by Wednesday, this Wednesday at midnight. Module 2, you must complete by Sunday at midnight. Module 3, you must complete by Wednesday at midnight. Module will go on from there. So we'll follow that pattern throughout the whole course. A new module will open every Sunday after you've completed the former one, and then every Wednesday. And we'll follow those same deadlines throughout the whole course, okay? Back to the syllabus. We're gonna be completing assignments through videos, worksheets, readings, assessments and inventories, journals for each unit, and sometimes quizzes. I already talked about how important it is for you to be able to attend online meetings. This should say, this is an error. This should say 10 to 11. So I will fix that. If you are unable to attend these live sessions, you can complete the alternative assignments. I want to go over that now. So for those of you who are on the call, this is still relevant to you because in the future, if anything comes up, a doctor's appointment, or you're sick, or you have to work, whatever the reason is, if you can't complete, if you cannot attend the live session, you'll have to watch this recording and then you'll complete an alternative assignment. So let me show you what that looks like. So if you're watching this recording, you will also need to go back to Module 1, and you'll need to click on Participation for Online Meeting or Alternative Assignment. Anytime you miss a weekly call, you'll have to watch the video and then click on this link. And you'll see the directions say, if you are unable to attend the online meeting, you may review the recording and submit this completed document to earn your participation points. Remember, this component of the course is worth 25% of your final grade. So you'll download this Word document, and it's the same every time. And then you'll fill it out. So who is the speaker for this session, and why would it be helpful for you to know and network with this person? Well, if you're watching this video call, I'm the only speaker for this session. So you would put my name there, and why would it be important for you to get to know your instructor? Number 2, provide a summary of the topics discussed in the session, highlighting what you learned that will be helpful to you in the future. So it can't just be a couple of words. It needs to be about 200 words. What did you learn from watching the entire call? What did the guest speaker go over? Well, today we're going over the syllabus and the schedule and navigating Blackboard and assignments and grading. Number 3, answer the collaborative discussion question posed in the live session. So I'm going to pose some questions at the end of this session, and the 2 people who are joining me on the call, they're going to help me answer those questions live. But you, if you're watching this recording, will need to come up with your own answer to those collaborative questions. The 4th question is that you will need to write out 3 questions you have for the speaker on the topic presented. So again, if you're watching this recording, you'll need to come up with 3 questions for me about this video recording. Number 5, practice your networking skills by writing a professional email to the speaker, so to me, that includes your questions, and CC your instructor. Well, you don't have to CC me this time because it's me. but you'll need to write an email to me posing those 3 questions that you just came up with. So you'll need to tell me who you are, that you're a student in my class, that you were unable to attend the live session, but that you've reviewed the session recording and you have some questions that you're hoping I could answer for you. You put your questions in the body of the email, sign your name, and then I will respond to that email with answers to your questions. So again, to get full points for the session, if you're not on the live call, you must download and complete the alternative assignment. For the 2 people who are joining me on the call right now, you do not have to complete the alternative assignment because you will get points for being here and participating. So that is a little bit of an overview of the way you'll do the alternative assignments. Back to our syllabus. You will be putting together a career planning portfolio and a reflective portfolio throughout the course. See here where it says the career planning portfolio is a revised compilation of the work you have done throughout the duration of the course. So what that means is if you're completing assignments and keeping up with everything along the way, you won't have a bunch of work to do to complete these 2 pieces at the end. You will already have built all of the pieces and you'll just have to put them together, okay? Course deadlines. All homework due dates are 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Resubmission deadlines are variable and will be posted in the course announcements. If I decide that I want to offer a resubmission deadline and I say, you know, you can resubmit this assignment and address the things that you did wrong, I'll give you a deadline. We'll communicate about that individually. A note about late assignments. Life happens, right? I told you guys I totally understand what it's like to be a student and all of the things that you're balancing. You may submit 3 late assignments over the course of the term for full credit. If you need to submit a late assignment, you must email me and let me know. Okay, so don't just not turn something in. Email me and say, hey, I'm having computer trouble, I'm sick, I'm whatever the issue is, and let me know which assignment you're going to be turning in late. And then you can turn it in with no penalty 3 times, okay? A note on communicating with me. Email communication. Please send all emails, as I mentioned, from your WCC account to my WCC account. Please provide a clear subject line and always include your first and last name in the email message. I have multiple courses that I'm teaching at one time, so I need you to be specific about what you're asking for, okay? In terms of expectations or availability of me, the best way to contact me first is by email, okay? I will usually respond to email messages within 24 to 48 hours. You should make a habit of checking your WCC emails on a regular basis. Please be aware that phone messages, well, they're not an effective way to get a hold of me. Email me first, but if you need to call and talk something through, go ahead and text me or leave me a voicemail, and then I will respond as quickly as I can. Please just give me a little bit of turnaround time because I do have multiple sections that I'm teaching. And so unless it's an emergency, give me a second before following up. Karen, it looks like you just joined us. We're going over the syllabus right now. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. A couple more notes on the syllabus. On civility, students are expected to be polite, considerate, and inclusive at all times. So I know we're not sitting in a classroom together, but we are going to be on live calls together. And during those live calls, please just be respectful to one another in the way that you talk to each other, and in questions that are asked, just be respectful of everybody in the course. And then a final note, if you need any academic accommodation because of a disability, please let me know that and make an appointment as soon as possible to verify that and arrange accommodations with learning support services. That is our syllabus, okay? Are there any questions at all that you want to type in the chat box before I move on to going over our course schedule? Feel free to type them in the chat box if you have any questions. Okay, I'll give you a minute to do that in case there are questions that come up. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our course schedule. And again, I'm not going to go through it word for word, but I want to highlight a few important things. So this is our course schedule. And the way it reads is, this is the date range of the entire unit. This is the unit that we're currently working in. And here are the modules that are included in that unit. And then we have here a list of each in-class item that aligns with each module. Our online meeting date, which is what we're doing right now, and then the deadline for all assignments in that module. So let's just take a look at module number 1 together. Module number 1 opened on Sunday, and here is what you must do before you finish module number 1. You must complete this whole list. So Charmaine, let's talk about that because I just downloaded this directly from our course site, and this is what's coming up. So let's talk offline about where you're downloading that so I can make sure it gets fixed for everybody, okay? Because this is downloaded directly from our Blackboard course site, and I just want to make sure that you guys are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, okay? So for the purposes of our recorded call, I just want to show you this schedule, and then let's touch base about that and figure out what's going on. So right now we're in our online meeting, Tuesday, 2/13/18, okay? This is the name of the guest speaker for the day, which is me. Luna, do you have the same document that I'm pulling up right now? Or are you saying that you have the same document that Charmaine is talking about? Yes, okay. So Charmaine, let's touch base offline, and I can even email you another copy of this schedule because this is the schedule that's downloading straight from our course site. Okay, just want to clear that up. So everything on this to-do list for module number 1 is due Wednesday night, okay, by 11:59 p.m. And then immediately your next module opens, module number 2, with a new to-do list and then a new deadline, which is Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., okay? So here's the deal. We have kind of a weird start to our class because this is a late start 10-week course, and we're meeting today, and you have module 1 due tomorrow night by midnight, and then module 2 due Sunday night at midnight, okay? But then WCC closes for winter break for one whole week. So you have this really weird gap in time where we won't meet in person next Wednesday because the college is closed, okay? Even though it's an online course, you guys are still not expected to attend, okay? So what we'll do instead is we'll have a week-long break, and then we'll meet again on the 27th, and our deadlines will resume. So just make sure you notice that if you're watching this recording later, that we do have a strange break, a 1-week break, right after we started working together, okay? So this is the way it breaks down. You need to read the syllabus, read the course schedule, which if you're on the call right now, you're doing that. You need to install Firefox and Google Chrome and submit screenshots through Blackboard. You need to install Adobe Reader and submit screenshots. And you need to install Microsoft Office 365 and submit screenshots. You also need to review the WCC Blackboard tutorial videos, take the course orientation quiz, and then send the instructor an email through Blackboard. So if I leave this course schedule for a moment and go back to our Blackboard site, I would want to click on Learning Units, Unit number 1, and we are in Module 1, Course Orientation. I would just go right through this list of assignments. Number 1, read the syllabus. Number 2, read the course schedule. Number 3, install Firefox and Google Chrome. So whenever you see an assignment posted, you want to click into that assignment link and follow the directions, okay? I'm going to go right through this list, install Adobe Reader, install Microsoft Office, review the Blackboard tutorials link, take the course orientation quiz, and then send the instructor an email through Blackboard. Make sure when you do this, you answer this list of questions. It might even be easiest just to copy and paste these questions right into an email to me. And if you haven't done this yet, the best way to email me through Blackboard is to go right up to this link that says email. Make sure that you only select instructor users, otherwise you're going to be emailing everyone in the course. And then make sure that you type a good subject line. So let's say that this email is coming from Charmaine. I would want her to put her name and the course that she's emailing me about, and maybe exactly what this email is going to be about. So intro email, something like that would work fine, okay? Make sure you answer each question and then hit submit, and that email will send to me. So those are the assignments that you're expected to complete by tomorrow night at midnight, okay? As soon as you turn things in at midnight, module 2 begins. And you can begin working on that whenever you'd like. And I'm okay if you guys work ahead in this course. That's fine with me. Just know that we might talk about something in our online meeting that you need to complete an assignment. So you might have to kind of work ahead on the things you can if you want to, but then also wait on some items that you need to attend a live meeting for, okay? So that is an overview of what's due based on our schedule by tomorrow night at midnight. You'll see that we meet every Wednesday until we'll meet. Our last in-person meeting will be on 4/24, and then you'll still have some assignments due that following Sunday. So we are beginning our semester as a 10-week course together from now until the end of April, okay? And it will go very quickly, so make sure that you stay caught up on all of the assignments. Back to our course PowerPoint. I've talked about the online meetings and alternative assignments. And we've talked about online meetings. We've talked about that alternative assignment. And here is, again, an overview of what we'll be doing each week when we meet in person. So today we're meeting, I'm the guest speaker, but from now on, I won't really be the one up here in front of the webcam. We're gonna have a guest speaker from different parts of WCC every week to provide you with resources that are really important to student success. So when we come back together on the 27th, you're going to have some student ambassadors here on a student panel to talk to you about what habits they've developed to be successful at WCC. And as we go through the course, you'll notice that we're going to have speakers from the library to talk to you about future career information. We're going to have a speaker here to talk to you about apprenticeships, internships, and career choices. This presentation is awesome. We're going to have someone here to talk to you about money management, budgets, and credit cards. We'll have someone to come talk to you about challenging jobs and burnout and stress. Someone will be here to talk to you about preparing a resume, a cover letter, practicing for interviews, and then future coursework exploration and guidance at WCC. So you're really going to have an opportunity to talk to all these amazing folks who can help you navigate your academic career here at WCC and beyond. So before I move on in our schedule for the day, I want to just pause and I want to ask if there are any questions on our schedule, our syllabus, or the way that the deadlines work on Wednesdays and Sundays. Are there any questions at all right now? I'm going to give you a second to type any questions you have in the chat box. So we will always meet in person on Tuesdays, and then your deadlines are Wednesdays at midnight and Sundays at midnight. Okay, we'll always meet at this time on Tuesdays every week. We just don't meet next week because there's spring break. So the nice thing is because we meet on Tuesdays, you have another whole day in case you need to come to this meeting and ask questions before all that work is due on Wednesday nights. Any other questions right now? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for this next part of our presentation, and feel free to answer any question or ask any questions that come up in the chat box, and as soon as I see them pop up, I'll try to get to them. Here's what we're going to do for the last part of our online meeting together, and if you're watching this recording, you will need to do this on your own. But for the three of you who are attending the call live today, I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint, and I'm going to ask you, I'm going to unmute your microphones, and I'm going to ask you to help me work through a couple of issues together. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a story of a pretend student, and I'm going to ask you guys, based on your knowledge of what resources we might have at WCC, what are some things that each of these students could do to problem solve and work through whatever situation they're in, okay? And so the first one is Anna is a single parent. She needs to find childcare for her daughter while she takes her math exam in the testing center. She is feeling really anxious about the test and what to do with her daughter while she takes it. What are 3 WCC resources that could help? And so what I'm going to do is unmute each of your microphones, if you have your microphones turned off, if you could turn them back on. And I'm just going to ask for you to jump in with any answers that you might have to these questions. And there's no wrong answer, so we'll talk through the right answer no matter what. But again, Anna's a single parent. She's trying childcare for her daughter while she takes a math exam in the testing center. And she's feeling really anxious about the test and what to do with her daughter while she takes it. What are 3 WCC resources you can think of that could help?
She could go to the child care center.
Yeah.
Perfect. So was that Luna? Was that you?
It was. My apologies for not introducing.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. I can tell who's talking on the microphone. So thank you very much. Yeah, she could go to the child care center and her daughter could spend time there while she's taking the test. So that's one resource. What are some others that you all can think of?
The Student Resource Center?
The Student Resource Center. Is that you, Charmaine?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so she could go to the Student Center and see what resources are available to her. What about this piece where she feels anxious? What's something she could do to address that she's feeling anxious about taking the test?
Go to the counseling center.
Yep, she could certainly go to the counseling center to talk through that. And she might also just meet with someone in the math tutoring center to just maybe go over everything that's going to be on the test and help to calm some of those nerves and kind of check in about what she already knows. So that's a really great answer to this first scenario. I'm going to move on to the second one. So this one says, Bob has a learning disability. He isn't really sure what to do to make sure that he can get the accommodations that he needs in order to be successful on his upcoming Spanish test. He would like to practice going over problems with someone, but isn't sure who to ask. Additionally, his car broke down this week and he is worried about how he's going to make it to school for the exam. What are 3 WCC resources that could help Bob? So that's a lot in his scenario. What are some things he could do just to help himself out a little bit?
Could go to the Spanish tutoring.
Yep, he could certainly seek out Spanish tutoring. Great. That's one really good one. What are some other ones?
Isn't there help with financial, maybe, like something?
Yeah, he could seek some help with finances, especially if he's concerned about that with his car breaking down. What else?
Doesn't WCC give us vouchers?
Yep, he could look into what he can do to arrange transportation.
If he's worried about getting to school.
Yeah, perfect. So if he's
froze.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. So yeah, if he's worried about getting here, he could certainly try to seek out alternative transportation through the bus system. That's a really good answer. And then, in terms of his learning disability, he really needs to check in with the Learning Resource Center to make sure he can get the accommodations that he needs and then share those with his instructor. Good. I think we have one more here to work through. So Brianna is an international student that speaks English as a second language. She's struggling to make ends meet living on her own away from her family. She has many concerns. She's hungry and money concerns. She's hungry and she feels lonely. She wants to connect with people on campus that understand what it's like to live in a foreign country. She would also like to find out how to apply for jobs on campus and in the community to earn some money. This one again should say, what are 3 resources that could help Brianna?
There is a international student club.
Yeah, so there's an international student club. That's a great answer, Charmaine. She would be able to connect with other international students who feel the way that she feels. And so that's one really good resource. Can you all think of, welcome back, Luna. Can you all think of any other resources she might access? So she's got money concerns, she's hungry, and she feels lonely.
Again, she could seek the counseling too.
Absolutely. So especially when it comes to feeling lonely, she could certainly connect with a counselor at WCC. What could she do to address the fact that she's feeling hungry?
The Student Resource Center.
Yep, so there are two ways that she could address that issue a little bit. So there is a food pantry on campus that's open to all students through the Student Resource Center, but there's also a food pantry that's open to just ACS students. So you all have access to these resources too, and I would strongly encourage you to use them because there's a bunch of food just sitting in the ACS office in GM 307. And it's free to anyone who stops in anytime. So that's one thing Brianna could do is stop by one of those two food pantries or both, and also connect with a counselor, as Charmaine mentioned. So those are great answers, guys. It sounds like you have a really good introductory level of knowledge around some of the resources that are available to you here on campus. What about this last question where it says she would also like to learn, find out how to apply for jobs on campus and in the community?
She can speak to an advisor.
Yeah, I mean, she could speak to an advisor who probably knows the answers to those questions. What else could she do?
I know, I always see job postings around campus too.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being on campus and seeing all of the postings on boards, she could, start to look for things that are available to her. Or, as you mentioned earlier, Charmaine, she could, go hang out, go learn or connect with the International Student Club, student organization, and maybe even ask some of them, like, what are some things that you all did to connect with jobs, either on campus or in the community? Those are really good answers, guys. So what I want to do now is, I know I've stopped along the way and said, hey, do you all have any questions? But if you have any questions and you want to ask those through the microphone or the chat box, I want to make sure that you have a chance to do that before we end our call. So any questions at all about the class, syllabus, schedule, online meetings, homework assignments, anything at all that you're thinking about right now? Can we resubmit an assignment if we want to make changes to it? Yes. So if you turn in an assignment and you don't get full credit for it, or I give you feedback and say, hey, I need you to adjust A, B, and C, I will absolutely let you resubmit. Just make sure you turn the initial assignment in on time by the deadline that's posted, and then I'll give you feedback and I'll allow you to resubmit it to get full credit, okay? Other questions that you all are thinking about? Do we need to email? Okay, so do you need to email me when you need to resubmit an assignment? No. So if you turn an assignment in through Blackboard, I will see an alert in the grade book that says you've turned something in. I grade every day, and so I will go in, I'll grade the assignment, and then I'll leave you some comments and say, hey, you need to adjust these items. Please resubmit by this date. Okay, so we'll be communicating individually about that. The only time you need to email me is if you're not going to be able to turn an assignment in on time in the first place, and then you'll just need to let me know, hey, I can't get this assignment in. I would like to use one of my 3 late passes to submit it without any penalty, okay? The only time you're going to be counted down for a grade is if you don't turn anything in by the posted deadline, and then you turn something in at a later date. I'll say, hey, I can give you partial credit for this, but it wasn't turned in on time, so I can't give you full credit. These are really good questions that I'm sure everybody else has thought of at some point. So any other questions, I'm happy to answer. Okay, if you think of any other questions beyond this live session, you can absolutely email me. You can call. We can talk through any of these issues. Charmaine, I'm going to go to my computer as soon as we hang up this call, and I'm going to send you a copy of that schedule. I'm not sure why it's downloading differently for you, but I'll send you that copy so that you have it in front of you. And I see a question. I'm trying to resubmit and I'm not seeing where to do that. So let me get out of the PowerPoint and go to the assignment box. You're welcome, Charmaine. Okay, so let me go in here, Luna, and just see if I can show you what that might look like. So because I'm signed in as an instructor, my view is going to look a little bit differently than yours might. So let's say that I go in and I do this assignment in the course orientation. Let's say I type something in for the instructor, or I attach a screenshot or whatever it is that I turn in. I'm just kind of putting random stuff on here to show you. I would hit submit, and then see, from my point of view, because I'm an instructor, it says submission from previewed assignment is not saved. After I've done that, under my grades, which is what it would look like for you, I should be able to see that the instructor has graded something, and you'll see it over here on the right. You'll see how many points it was worth, and you'll see how many points you received. You should be able to click on whatever that assignment submission is. It's going to look a little bit different for you. You should have a link that actually lets you open it. And when it does, you should be able to resubmit just by, there should be a button at the bottom of that assignment link that says something like start new submission. If for some reason, Luna, you don't see that, you can absolutely email me anytime. And I will say that as a blanket statement for everybody. If something isn't working with Blackboard, if you can't figure it out, whatever it is, like, I can absolutely accept assignments through email. Just make sure you send them to my WCC email, and make sure you save everything for yourself, because the really nice thing about Blackboard is that you have this record of everything you've turned in, and you can go back anytime and re-download it. And the cool thing about that is when you go to build your portfolios at the end of the course, you'll have all of that stuff right here saved and backed up somewhere other than your computer. So if you do email me something, save your emails in a folder, save your assignments to your computer or a flash drive or whatever. But yeah, you should be able to resubmit on that assignment link. And I wish I could show you what it looks like from a student perspective, because it looks a little bit different for me. But if you don't see a way to do that, to start a new submission, go ahead and email me your most updated version, okay? So again, if you guys think of any other questions offline or outside of this call, here's another one. Okay, awesome. You guys are good. A lot of students don't ask questions, and this is really important that you do this. So if you miss a session, where do these save so we can watch it later? Charmaine, I'm so happy you asked that because I didn't go over it. So I'll show you. So over here on the left-hand side of the page, you've got a link called Online Meetings. So right now, you can see that there's a link to join the online meeting. It's going to be the same link every week. And then you can see this on my screen. It says recorded GoToMeeting sessions. Right now, it's not available to you all because we haven't recorded any videos yet. But as soon as we hang up, I will go upload this video to YouTube, and then I will drop a link in that folder. And then I'll make this item available to you, and you'll be able to watch the recorded GoToMeetings as they post every week. So it will be at this link called Online Meetings, and it will be at the very bottom of the page in a folder called Recorded GoToMeeting Sessions. And I'll label them Recorded Meeting Week 1 with the date, Week 2 with the date. So you'll know exactly which one to watch, okay? Any other questions? So I know only 3 of you were able to join the live call, but I really, really appreciate it because the interactivity makes the call better for those who are watching it recorded. But honestly, you get so much more out of it if you're able to ask questions on the spot, if you're able to hear a description and navigate the pages with me. And as we have guest speakers, you know, it's going to be really important that people attend the call live because those guest speakers are coming with a presentation, asking you to interact with them, and that's how you get participation points. If, again, if you are unable to attend a call, that's okay, but I would strongly encourage you to attend the call because you just have to show up and participate, and you don't have to complete that alternative assignment. But if you watch the recorded video later, that's extra work for you to do, and it's really more time out of your day. So again, to those three that were able to join the call today, Karen, Luna, and Charmaine, I really appreciate you being here. If you think of any other questions that you have offline, feel free to email me, to call, or to text, okay? Those of you who are watching this recording, do not forget that you must submit the alternative online assignment to get the points for attending the session, okay? If there are no other questions, again, I just want to thank you for your time. We won't meet next Tuesday live, and you don't have any deadlines after this coming Sunday night for another week because the college closes. So take a really close look at that schedule. Make sure that you complete everything in modules 1 and 2, and then we will meet again 2 weeks from today at 10 a.m. And I'll see you all then. So have a wonderful, since I won't speak to you before then, have a wonderful and safe spring break. And let me know if you have any questions after we end the call. Again, thank you, everybody. I'll see you soon.